our previous lecture, we discussed about how will the zygote be formed and how is the zygote cleaved and how is morula formed, how is blastocyst formed and how does implantation takes place. Now in today's lecture, we will continue with implantation and we will talk about another process called gastrula. Gastrulation is our main topic today, right? So when does implantation occurs? When the zygote starts cleavage, it becomes 2-cell blastomere, 4-cell blastomere, 8-cell blastomere, 16-cell blastomere, 32-cell blastomere, 64-cell stage, right? Around 64-cell stage, it will become a blastocyst-like structure and then it gets implanted in the endometrium of the uterus. So means it takes around 7th day after fertilization. So implantation occurs on the 7th day of fertilization. So we can write that implantation occurs on the 7th day of fertilization. Implantation occurs on the 7th day of fertilization. Now human eggs, we know they are acleoidic, means they don't have a calcium carbonate shell, and they are alecythal, means they don't have yolk also. So we know that the human egg is alecythal. Alecythal means no yolk. Yolk is a nutritive tissue, right? And it is acleoidic. Acleoidic means no shell around it. Since human egg is not having yolk, which is a nutritive tissue, so the egg and the zygote takes nourishment from the maternal tissue. So we know that uterus has the inner lining called endometrium. It nourishes the developing embryo. So endometrium, so if you see, this is an endometrium and here it got implanted, right? The blastocyst got implanted. So all these are the trophoblast cells. The peripheral region, it makes the trophoblast cells. And at the embryonic knob, inner cell mass will be there. So this is inner cell mass. Here we see the inner cell mass, right? So now we are telling this endometrium, all this is endometrium only. From here to here is endometrium, which is the inner lining of the uterus, and this layer will be myometrium muscular. This layer will be muscular myometrium. Now then what happens? We are telling this endometrium, which is a nutritive tissue, at the point of implantation, it shows a local swelling. Here the endometrium shows a local swelling, we are telling, light swelling. So we can write down the endometrium shows local swelling at the point of its attachment, to the blastocyst. So the endometrium responded and it's showing swelling there. Now this endometrium, inside it has blood vessels. Now from these blood vessels, the blastocyst has to take nutrition. So the blood vessels will grow more and the blood vessels permeability increases because it knows that it has to provide nourishment to this implanted blastocyst. The blood vessels which are present here, so they grow more. The blood vessels which are present in the endometrium, they grow more and they increase their permeability. That's the second point. So the blood vessels in endometrium, the blood vessels in endometrium, so I'm telling they grow more and they increase permeability. The blood vessels will increase permeability so that they can supply the nutrients to the developing blastocyst. Then the cells which are present here, there are some cells which are loosely packed. They are called as fibroblasts. These fibroblasts try to store the nutritive tissue so that they can act as a reserves to supply the nutrition for the blastocyst. So the loosely arranged tiny fibroblast starts accumulating food materials in terms of glycogen. So here we can write that in the endometrium itself, loosely arranged fibroblast cells, they accumulate glycogen and they become big. So this is a fibroblast, this is another fibroblast, this is another fibroblast. What it is accumulating? This is the fibroblast which is accumulating, it is accumulating glycogen. So it knows that the endometrium, now it has to supply nutrition to the blastocyst. The fibroblasts are storing glycogen, the blood vessels are growing more and increasing the permeability, and then the endometrium responded and it's going to make a structure, right? So these are the changes which happen in the endometrium. Such a type of implantation is called as interstitial implantation. Such a type of implantation, what is it called? It is called interstitial type of implantation. What do you mean by interstitial type of implantation? Means if this is the endometrium, the blastocyst completely embeds, means the blastocyst is completely buried inside the endometrial wall, we cannot see it. So that is called as interstitial implantation. Such a type of implantation is called as interstitial implantation, in which we are telling the blastocyst is completely buried. Where? Inside the endometrium. Completely buried inside the endometrium. So this endometrium is going to grow and is going to cover the blastocyst completely, so that the blastocyst embeds inside the endometrium. Such a type of implantation is called as interstitial implantation. Now this we understood. Now let us talk about, after morula, blastula is formed, blastocele is formed, and the next one is gastrula. So let us now talk about gastrula formation. So I think you understood this much. So we are telling that implantation occurs on the 7th day of fertilization. Human egg, since it is alecithal, it doesn't have yolk, it doesn't have nutrition, it has to depend upon the maternal tissue, uterine tissue. Now when the implantation happens, the point where both are in contact, the endometrium first shows a local swelling. Then after that, inside blood vessels will develop. After that, fibroblasts will start accumulating the food materials. And meanwhile, what is happening? The blast is completely getting buried inside. Such a type of implantation is called as interstitial type of implantation. Take a screenshot, then we will talk about gastrula formation. Yes. Sorry. So now let us talk about gastrula formation. Right. Now, what do you mean by morula? Morula is a solid ball, right? So we say, what is morula? It is 8 to 16 cell solid ball structure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 to 16 cell solid mulberry structure is called as morula. Then it becomes blastula or blastocyst. What is blastocyst? Blastocyst, I told, it is 32 to 64 cell stage and having a blastocele. Now, so we can't count 64 cells, but then we'll try to show. These are peripherally arranged trophoblast cells. So these are trophoblast cells. And inside we have inner cell mass. This is called inner cell mass, and within this is a nutritive fluid, a tissue fluid which is rich in nutrition. So this is called as blastocele. What is this space called? Blastocele. Now such a structure is called as blastocyst. Then the blastocyst becomes gastrula. What is gastrula then? So gastrula is nothing but the cells which are present here, they show morphogenic movements. Some show invaginations, they protrude and come inside, involutions. Some show evasinations, they go outside. They try to form all the three layers, three germinal layers called ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. So that we are going to see under gastrulation. What is gastrulation? It is characterized by the movement of the cells in masses. So what can we write for gastrulation? So it is characterized by movement of cells. I told how they will move, we will see it by movement of cells. Single cells are moving or they are moving in masses. So the cells are moving in masses. Such a type of movement is called morphogenic movement. This movement is called as morphogenic movement. Now, how does the morphogenic movement happens? Let us see now. So, we have seen that in implantation, this is the endometrium. This is the endometrium, and so the blastocyst has formed villi-like structures to take the nutritive tissue, right? And these are the trophoblast cells. Right? So, what are these? Trophoectoderm or trophoblast cells. And what is this? Endometrium. And what are these called? Chorionic villi. These are called chorionic villi. Now we can tell inside what do you have? Inner cell mass. So this is inner cell mass and this is blastocele. At the time of gastrulation, what happens means, now this is called embryonic knob, right? The place where inner cell mass is there called embryonic knob, and the opposite side is called abembryonic knob. So this is called embryonic knob. Now the cells which are present at the embryonic knob here, instead of making a mass of cells, now they become flattened. So they get flattened in such a pattern, right? I just made these cells to get flattened. The inner cell mass cells are getting flattened, and we know that here we have trophoblast. So all this is trophoblast cells, right? And the cells which are present here, which are attached to the inner cell mass, are called cells of Robber. These are trophoblast cells. Correct? So I told the embryonic knob is getting flattened here and it is making an embryonic disc. So the embryonic knob became flattened here and it has made embryonic disc. So this is a first stage in gastrulation. So did you see the cells are moving out here and they made a disc-like structure. And what are these cells? These cells are called trophoblast cells, and here we have Robber cells. Now these Robber cells will disintegrate, right? These are Robber cells. Now the Robber cells will degenerate. So we can tell these cells will degenerate. The Robber cells will degenerate, and these cells which are present here, when these cells are getting degenerated, how can we draw the next picture? When the Robber cells are getting degenerated, then these cells will occupy the upper layer, isn't it? So we need to show something like this, right? So this and this got degenerated. Then It becomes like this. These are the trophoblast cells, trophoectoderm. Since the robber cells got degenerated, now these cells occupied to the top. Now here I draw two layers. Now when these are going up, so these cells also get distributed on the upper layer itself. Now this is called embryonic disc. Now children, the cells which are in the embryonic disc undergo division to make two layers of cells. Now which are present in two layers here, they got distributed into a single layer, made a disc shaped appearance. Now next what happens is, these cells which are present in the embryonic disc will undergo division. When they undergo division, they make two layers of cells. This is already one layer of cells. The other cells are these cells. Since they got divided, it made a two layer cells. Now this is the upper layer and this is a lower layer. The upper layer of cells are called epiblast and the lower layers of cells are called hypoblast. What is this called? Epiblast. And what is this called? Hypoblast. The epiblast cells will form the embryo proper. Hypoblast cells are going to make endoderm. Now, the epiblast cells will form the embryo proper. The hypoblast cells will now form endoderm. They form endoderm, right? So now, what happens now? We told that this is an embryonic disc. When the robber cells disintegrate, degenerate, now these cells occupy to the topmost layer and they divide to make two layers. Now the upper layers are columnar. What is the shape of the upper layer? See, it is columnar. The lower layer cells are cuboidal. The upper layers of cells are columnar in appearance. The lower cells are cuboidal in appearance. Now these cells are making the embryo and this cell will make endoderm. Now what happens during endoderm means, now these cells get separated from each other. They get separated into two layers. That's called delamination. Now delamination occurs. What do you mean by lamina? Lamina means layer like. Two layers are formed. Now delamination occurs. This gets separated from the upper layer of cells. Shall we draw it here? When the delamination occurs, how does it appear? So, trophoblast cells, these are trophoblast cells, and then we told the upside we have columnar embryo proper. These are the columnar cells, and then I told these cells get separated by delamination process. Then we will draw these cuboidal cells in this manner. They grow. The cuboidal cells now they will grow and they form a layer in this manner. They are growing and they are forming a layer in this manner. This is the first germinal layer to be formed. What is this germinal layer called? This germinal layer is called endoderm. Gastrula means formation of all the three germinal layers: endoderm, mesoderm and ectoderm. So what is endoderm? Endoderm is the first formed germ layer from the embryonic disc cells. So it will form the endoderm. You are seeing clearly here. Now these cells which are present, the cuboidal cells, are going to make the primitive gut. These cells will make the primitive alimentary canal or primitive gut, and these cells will make yolk sac. We have very little of yolk sac which is made from these endodermal cells at the bottom, and the upper cells will make the primitive gut. So means now under gastrulation we have seen endoderm formation. What is gastrulation? Gastrulation includes morphogenic movement of the cells. They move in different directions. We told the robber cells degenerate. Then they give the space for the inner cell mass to get arranged like a disc. That is called embryonic disc. Now the cells at the embryonic disc divide into two layers. Upper cells will make epiblast. Lower cells will make hypoblast. Hypoblast cells will get separated from the epiblast cells by a process of delamination, and then they grow and they make a first germ layer which is called as endoderm. Now let us see the second layer, which is mesoderm. How is it formed? Take a screenshot. Right. Now let's discuss about, we have seen what's the first germinal layer. The first germinal layer is endoderm. Now what's the second germinal layer? The second germinal layer will be mesoderm. Now let's see how is a mesoderm formed. Now when we see trophoblast cells, right, and here we see the epiblast cells. All these are the epiblast cells. The epiblast cells will grow to make a mesoderm, and since the hypoblast cells have already made the endoderm, so these are the hypoblast cells, cuboidal hypoblast cells. So they growed and they made the first embryonic layer. What is it called? Endoderm. This is endoderm, right? Now then we are telling that the epiblast cells will grow now. We'll use green. The epiblast cells will grow now. This end of the epiblast cells is called cephalic pole, and the other end is called as caudal end. This end is called, caudal means tail, right? This is caudal end of the epiblast, and this end is called as cephalic end. Cephalic means head, cauda means tail. Now the cells at the cephalic end also will divide. The cells of the caudal end also will divide to make a mass of cells which get detached from the epiblast cells, right? So what is this? This is epiblast cells of the embryonic disc. Now they divide, and I'm telling they get detached. See, they got detached. This side also, from the cephalic end also, they divide and they get detached. Now these detached cells are mesodermal cells, which are going to make the second germ layer, which is called mesoderm. So from the hypoblast cells, endoderm is made. From the epiblast cells in masses, mesoderm is made. So this is mesoderm. We have seen mesoderm formation also. Now what's the third and last germ layer? It is endoderm. Now what happens during endoderm formation means, after the mesoderm is formed, now these epiblast cells will further divide. Right? The epiblast cells will further divide. Let me show the mesoderm first. This is endoderm. Right? And then comes mesoderm. This is mesoderm. Now we are telling that the epiblast cells further divide, and then they line the trophoblast cells inside to make the third germinal layer called endoderm. So these are the epiblast cells. Now we are telling these epiblast cells will further divide to make a layer. It is making a layer which is inside covering the trophoblast cells, and it will make ectoderm. See, I am drawing. This is the blue colored layer is ectoderm. So the epiblast cells will further divide to cover the trophoblast from the inside layer to form ectoderm. Okay, ECTO. This is ectoderm, and the inside to ectoderm. So here we are, which is mesoderm. Further inside to mesoderm, we have endoderm. Correct? This is what is gastrulation. This morphogenic movements involved in formation of gastrula is called as gastrulation. Understood? Now, this is called as such a structure which is having ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm is called as gastrula. And the process is called as gastrulation. The process is called as gastrulation. What is the sign that gastrula is getting formed? Means a primitive streak will be formed where in the trophoblast cells. What is the sign of gastrulation? How does we know that gastrula has been formed? Means a primitive streak appears first. A primitive streak appears. Now we should know what is primitive streak. So the trophoblast cells are there, right? So these are the trophoblast cells. Now these trophoblast cells which are towards the outer side, they show depression. There appears a depression here. When a depression appears, it becomes like this. Exactly at the center of the depression, now a primitive knob gets formed. At this depression, a primitive knob is formed. What is this depression called? This depression is nothing but the primitive streak. This depression is nothing but primitive streak. And this knob is primitive knob. What is the significance of the primitive streak and primitive knob? Means, so the it shows or it leads to bilateral symmetry. So this primitive streak, it helps in development of bilateral symmetry. It helps in development of bilateral symmetry. Hope you understood gastrulation process in detail. Then we told this will develop into yolk sac. Let us write down. This develop into yolk sac and this develops into alimentary canal. And then the cells which are here, in between we see robust cells here and we see the trophoblast cells here, right? So these are the trophoblast cells, right? We draw it like this. And inner to these robust cells, we generally draw inner cell mass in this manner. Now initially what happens means, in between the trophoblast cells and the robust cells, space will get created. Now that space, if we have to draw that space, so we need to show like this. Now this space is amniotic cavity, the space which is formed between the trophoblast and the robust cells, and these trophoblast cells have extended and they have made chorionic villi, right? Now this space, these trophoblast cells will later degenerate. The trophoblast cells and robust cells will later degenerate. So this entire cavity is called as amniotic cavity. Now if we have to show that amniotic cavity which is here, it will be something like this. Whole is amniotic cavity. Now this amniotic cavity only will grow and it will enclose the embryo. Now from mesoderm, certain tissue systems will be formed. From ectoderm, some other tissue systems. From endoderm, some other tissue systems. So the embryo will be within the amniotic cavity and amniotic fluid, right? So this is the amniotic cavity which will enclose the embryo. And how is this amniotic cavity formed initially? So here we have trophoblast cells. Below that we have robust cells. Below that we have inner cell mass. The trophoblast cells and robust cells will degenerate and there a cavity appears. This cavity is called as amniotic cavity. And this amniotic cavity, if we have to represent here, this becomes the amniotic cavity. Take a screenshot. Yes. Now, when we have to tell that gastrula has been formed, all the three layers are formed, ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. So we told, like, since we are triploblastic, so all the three germinal layers will be there. certain systems develop from ectoderm, certain systems from endoderm, certain systems from mesoderm. Let us see that also in this session. Now, what are the systems which evolve from ectoderm, then which evolve from endoderm, which evolve from mesoderm? We need to see now. This is also important. Yeah. Ectodermal in origin. What parts are ectodermal in origin? What parts are mesodermal in origin? And what parts are endodermal in origin? In 11th standard, we study human physiology. There we will tell this system is this dermal in origin, this system is this dermal in origin. So there also we have to study. Altogether here also we can study. If we tell epidermis, epidermis is ectodermal in origin. So the first one what we can write is epidermis. So epidermis is ectodermal in origin. Then the teeth enamel is also ectodermal in origin. The second one, enamel of the teeth is also ectodermal in origin. Then next one, nervous system is ectodermal in origin. Nervous system is ectodermal in origin. Conjunctiva, lens, ciliary body, iris muscles are also ectodermal in origin. Conjunctiva of the eye, lens of the eye, ciliary muscles and iris are also ectodermal in origin. Then pituitary gland, pineal gland of endodermal system of endocrine system are also ectodermal in origin. Master of endocrine gland, which is called pituitary gland. Next one, pineal gland is also ectodermal in origin. And then we can tell nasal epithelium, olfactory epithelium is ectodermal in origin. Olfactory epithelium. Now come on children, just summarize how many are ectodermal in origin. Epidermis is ectodermal in origin. Enamel of the teeth, ectodermal in origin. Nasal epithelium, ectodermal in origin. Master gland, pituitary gland and pineal gland, ectodermal in origin. Conjunctiva, lens, ciliary body, iris, ectodermal in origin. Nervous system, which is inside, right, is also ectodermal in origin. Coming to mesodermal origin. For mesodermal origin, you can tell muscular system is mesodermal in origin. Reproductive system is mesodermal origin. Excretory system is mesodermal in origin, right? So let us write down. So what are the things? If epidermis is ectodermal, dermis is mesodermal. The dermis of the skin. If enamel of the teeth is ectodermal, behind the enamel is dentine. Dentine is mesodermal. Dentine of teeth is mesodermal. If nervous system is there, write down muscular system there. Write down reproductive system also. Write down excretory system also. Right? Muscular system, reproductive system, excretory system, circulatory system is also mesodermal origin. Circulatory system is also mesodermal origin. Pericardium, heart, blood vessels are also mesodermal origin. Heart and blood vessels. Pericardium, adrenal cortex. Okay, the cortex portion is mesodermal origin. So what are the things we listed here? Dermis of the skin, the below the epidermis is dermis, is mesodermal origin. Then below the enamel is dentine, mesodermal origin. Muscular system, mesodermal origin. Excretory system, mesodermal origin. Reproductive system, mesodermal origin. Then circulatory system, mesodermal. Heart, blood vessels, pericardium, adrenal cortex are mesodermal origin. left with endodermal origin. So if we have to list about endodermal origin, all the mucosa linings are endodermal origin. Then next one, let's list down. All the mucosa linings are endodermal in origin. And then we can tell all the digestive glands are also endodermal. All the digestive glands are also endodermal. Then thyroid gland, then parathyroid also. Thyroid, parathyroid and thymus, these are endocrine glands, right? So these are also endodermal in origin, and the middle ear and the ossicles are endodermal in origin. We can write middle ear, eustachian tube also. Middle ear, eustachian tube are also endodermal in origin. Trachea, bronchi and lungs are also endodermal. Trachea, bronchi and lungs are endodermal in origin. So we have discussed about gastrulation process in today's session. We talked gastrulation is morphogenesis. How is the first embryonic layer endoderm formed? How is the second embryonic layer mesoderm formed? How is the last embryonic layer ectoderm formed? And then, so from ectoderm, what are the systems which are formed? The epidermis, nervous system, conjunctiva, pituitary gland, pineal gland are formed from ectodermal germinal layer. From mesodermis, many muscular system, reproductive system, excretory system, circulatory system. From endodermal, mucosal lining, digestive glands, thyroid gland, parathyroid, thymus, middle ear, eustachian tubes, and the respiratory system parts like trachea, bronchi and lungs. Hope you understood the gastrulation process, followed implantation and gastrulation in detail. Any comments, post them in the comment box. If you like the content, like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.